Can you imagine? Just
Hello. My name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And occasionally travel to outer space.
When did we do that?
Today,
No.
the magic of board games is that you can go anywhere you want.
No, that's not how that works. I like to stay inside and play my board games.
Now, this is our Check It Out series where we showcase various games to you in hopes of inspiring you to learn something or maybe play something.
Find you a new game that you might just love.
And this week we're taking a look at Wormholes. Wow. Are you a black hole?
No.
Or are you a wormhole?
I imagine that's what they make. That's the noise they make.
When you
Can
travel.
you imagine? Just that's so false.
What if you just go through and then there's just thousands of people going as you're going through?
It's just like a mirror people push their face against.
A kaleidoscope.
Oh.
Well, Wormholes is designed by Peter McPhersen and published by Alderac Entertainment Group. In Wormholes, what are we doing?
You're trying to discover a bunch of different planets.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make wormholes so you can travel faster to them. You can use the other player's wormholes though, which is very cool, but it's going to cost you. And you'll see that when we explain how to play the game.
Let's get right to it. As always, you'll begin by setting up. You'll set up the spaceports based on the player count and difficulty. You'll then prepare the exploration stack, passenger deck, and place point tokens within reach of all players. Each player will receive 3 energy tokens, a ship, pickup token, a set of wormholes, passenger card or cards, and a reference card. In Wormholes, you're pioneering a new method of space travel, spreading the wormhole technology across the galaxy. Your goal is to score the most points by the end of the game. Now you'll earn points by either placing wormholes next to planets with no wormholes, other players using your wormholes, dropping off passengers to their destined planets, and having dropped off passengers to more than 5 different planets. Now on your turn you'll have 3 energy you can spend. The only action you can take with the energy is moving your ship. You can move onto any adjacent space except those with a dark background, which includes planets, the sun, the space station, or asteroids. You'll flip energy tokens as you move as a reminder of your 3 moves. Now the fun part is in the free actions. You can perform these any amount of times during your turn. Let's go over them. The first one is placing a wormhole token. You can place the next wormhole token in your stack into any of the blank spaces adjacent to your ship without a wormhole already there. Now you must place the next wormhole token from the top of your stack. This will either create a wormhole pair or start a new one because they're in order. Now you cannot have more than one of your wormhole tokens adjacent to the same planet or the space station, but different players can have worm tokens adjacent to the same planet. Now when both the wormhole tokens have been placed, you flip them to their active side and point the tokens at each other. These are now ready for use. Now if you're the first player to place a wormhole adjacent to a planet that does not already have one, you'll earn the top exploration token from the stack. Now another free action is warping through the wormholes. If you're on a wormhole, you can warp to its adjacent pair, the exact match in number and color. This doesn't count as moving, nor does it cost any energy. However, if you use a wormhole that is not yours, the owner of that wormhole will gain a point. Now another free action is dropping off passengers. As a free action, if you're adjacent to a planet, you may drop off all passenger cards from your hand, showing that planet. When dropping off passenger cards, you'll simply show them to the table and then put them in a neat stack face down. These will each be worth 2 points at the end of the game. And if you visit a variety of planets, they'll be worth even more points. Now the last free action is using a map feature. Now all of these have slightly different rules for moving and how you interact, but they all give you free actions. For example, if you go into the photon cannon, you can move in any direction, any amount of spaces, skipping over any obstacles that may be in place, including any gaps between the spaceports. And that's your free actions. Now, once per turn, you can also pick up passengers. Before doing so, you may discard any number of passenger cards from your hand into the space station docks. Then you'll draw new cards. Now, when discarding passenger cards, you'll place them in piles in the space station dock area. This will simply tell the players how many of each card is in each of the stacks. Now, when picking up cards, you can either pick up from the planet or the space station. If picking up from a planet, you'll simply draw until you have 4 cards in hand. If you draw any cards of the planet that you're on, you're simply discarded face up into the space station docks and then draw a new card. Or you can pick up from the space station. If you draw cards from the space station, you'll take face up passenger cards from the docks up to 2 different planets to a maximum of 4 cards in your hand. After drawing, you'll flip over your pickup token to its inactive side to show that you've picked up passengers for this round. Now at the end of your turn, you'll simply flip all your tokens back up, ready for use on your next turn. You'll keep playing until the connected token is revealed, meaning every planet has a wormhole token next to it. You'll finish the current round plus 3 additional rounds so that all players have an equal amount of turns. You're now ready to count up the points. You'll earn points for the exploration tokens, 1 or 3 points based on the tokens. You'll earn points from any time your wormholes were used for 1 point each. You'll score 2 points for each of the passengers you've dropped off. And as a galactic tour bonus, you'll score 3 points per different planet delivered to Beyond 5. You'll count up the points and the player with the most wins. Will you warp through space or be left behind in a rubbles of space matter and dark matter?
All the gross asteroid rubble.
What? It's not gross, it's beautiful.
Oh.
They make shapes like clouds.
I don't remember the last time I saw an asteroid up close.
Well, maybe if you were paying attention when we went to space today.
I didn't go to space. So what do you think?
I usually don't like space games. I feel like it's a theme I'm most
can confirm.
impartial about, as I love space and a ton of space games. But
and a ton of space games. Names one other one.
Space. Space may be the only space game I like.
What about Cryo?
I do like Cryo, but Cryo is more of like a planet.
What about On Mars?
Ooh, okay, I like some space game. Yeah.
Ha.
I just spit everywhere.
I just contradicted him.
Space games are a theme I'm usually not drawn to. So I was a little bit hesitant because this is Peter McPhersen's second game. Tiny Towns was a big hit. We love Tiny Towns.
We do.
So I was a little hesitant when Wormholes was announced because I'm like, why we always gotta go to space?
Why gotta be space?
Why gotta be space? So, but after playing it, I'm pleasantly surprised and I really liked it. So, and I want to play more and I want to play at a full play count because we haven't done that yet.
I want to play it at more people because I think it'll be chaotic. And I think I'll appreciate that chaos. I'm not sure about it yet, to be totally honest.
Fair.
I think it is cool how you have to like go around and like utilize your actions. I feel like there's a lot you can do as like free actions, and that feels really strong. But I mean, everybody can do it, so I guess that's fair. Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really made up my mind on this one. We'll have to play it at more people.
Yeah, we only played at 2, so it's hard. I feel like it'll be a completely different game as the player count scales up.
Yeah, I feel like
different.
You'll be moving back and forth between wormholes more often, and then there'll be like the offset of deciding whether or not you have to give people points and who you're going to give them to. Because I know if I'm warping using your wormhole, you're the only other person that I'm going to use, so you'll get those points.
It's very strategic, almost chess-like. You're playing the player when it's a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Where I think with more players, it's optimizing your own strategy and trying to do your very best space discovery.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So now for our comparables. What do these games compare to?
Yes.
For me, the first one that came to mind was Forbidden Island, actually. It is a cooperative game. It's not a competitive, but it's very similar where there's a set collection. You're trying to collect sets of cards in order to obtain items, and here you're collecting cards to deliver them to planets being in the right location. It's also kind of route and network building. So you're trying to utilize your actions to get to the right place to do the right thing, and this game really portrays the same feeling of that.
Yeah, I like that because it's like, I like the whole action point system, I guess, that Forbidden Island has, and then you have to just carry it over into this game where it's more competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, if you enjoy the nature of Forbidden Island but want something competitive, Wormholes might be it.
Yeah, the set collection too is a good point. Yeah.
Lots of layers there. What about you?
I said Mariposas, so it's another AEG game, but I don't know why, but for some reason, if I remember the game correctly, and I'm fairly certain I do. It's
been a fair bit.
It's been a bit. But like, you have to, you know the end goal of the whole thing, which you do in Wormholes. Like, in most like board games, you know when the end game is going to be coming, but it felt as if like, because you flip when the last planet is discovered, you flip that token and then there's like 3 rounds left. You have like that period to trying to like finalize all of your points and make sure you optimize those final 3 turns so you outwit everybody else. But I think in Mariposas, like you're doing that throughout the whole game, where you're trying to like push your luck and go as far as you can, but also try to come back by using like your action cards. And yeah, I think
optimizing your turns really.
Yeah, it really just comes down to exactly that.
Yeah, I feel that. A little bit of kind of route building as well, because you're trying to figure out where you're going to go and the best way to go, which I feel here is similar, with especially with all the photon cannons and the wild wormholes. It's kind of taking a little bit of a risk to see kind of what can pay off. Yeah, and like even like what side of the planet you want to land on or put your wormhole for like later teleports. Exactly. Well, why should you check out Wormholes? Well, if you liked the games that we said, then it might be worth taking a peek at, because they obviously gave us kind of similar vibes. Other than that, I think the game is pretty straightforward in like a learning sense, but there's like a layer of complexity that comes along with playing it, and those decisions that you have to make and optimizing your turns. Like, it feels very smooth, simple, but also complex. Yeah, I really like games that you can teach pretty easily, but have like a variety and depth of strategy, especially with those obstacles, with a variable setup. There's a lot of depth to the game that you can explore as you go on, and it can be really competitive. Like, every point will matter. It'll be really close. But I think for me, one of the main things is if this game just captured fun in an essence. Right. Which is silly to say, but I feel it feels so good when you're traveling, like when you're just moving between wormholes and literally traveling across the galaxy and delivering, and then all of a sudden you drew the right passenger cards and you can wormhole to another planet and deliver them. It just, that whole train of combos, which you know I love, works really well, and it just feels really smooth in this game. Because it's very easy. Like, moving costs actions. Everything else is free action. So you really have to prioritize how you want to move in the best way possible in order to use the free actions. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, Wormholes could be for you. Yeah, you might want to check it out. Yeah, I feel like I understand what you're trying to say there. I don't know if it captures the essence of fun. That's not how I would put it. But it does, like... Don't all board games do that? Sometimes. It does kind of come down to, like, when you do it right, it feels really good. And I think that like, can bring a lot of people joy. So, yeah, it's probably worth checking out if that's something that you, like, strive for in games. The other thing I would say is, I think you already mentioned this, but it's, like, it's actually really fast as a game. Like, I think we played it... like half hour for 2 players. Probably less. Like, maybe 20 minutes. So... because we're wormholes. We're traveling through space. Yeah, so it feels really nice, really quick to the table. It's not got a lot of components. There's a lot of variability just in, like, how you place the tiles. So that's really nice. You get a switch of games quite often. Yeah. And there's that really cool token that allows your setup, because it'll point in the direction you want to put your tiles. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, that is neat. Yeah. Well, why should you not check it out? I'm just going to feed off of the comment you said about the fun thing. Because it can be the complete opposite. Like in all board games, there's a little bit of randomness. You have to kind of expect it and kind of just like live for it. Like, there's only so much strategy that you can put into something, and sometimes it just comes down to the luck of the draw. So it does feel really unfortunate when player 1 draws like the perfect cards to travel to the next planet to score their whole hand, essentially, and 4 of the same card. Can you imagine? That would be pretty lucky. But even scoring, did Tyler even shuffle the deck?
Even scoring just 2 of those cards is really good.
Yep.
Like, because all you have to do is get to a planet, and then a free action is dropping off passengers. So not only that, you can go drop off passengers and then draw. And then if you draw really well that turn, you can know exactly where you're going to go next.
Yeah.
Now, arguably, that could be said with any cards that you draw, but in some cases, it can be extremely like fortunate for those that draw it. And I think even if they are close games, sometimes it can feel a little off-putting.
And I think it depends too, because like you said, the game's pretty short. I think it's because often we race to finish the game because you get more points with the planets that you place the wormholes next to at the very end.
I mean, you get a lot of points for just discovering the
That's
planet,
true.
especially like the last planets. So like, as much as you want to hold out, there is reason to go out into the farthest
Because someone
tile.
else can go first.
Yeah, to make sure that you get that next planet, because it's worth like a whole 3 points at the end. It can really like shift the tides of the game. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that sometimes like because that can happen, it can be a deterrent to play a game.
I think the only other thing I'll mention for why you shouldn't check it out is if you struggle kind of spatially figuring out where you're going to go, because this is very much a spatial game. It's which wormhole am I going to go, where am I going to jump to, what am I going to do next. If you don't like those types of games, then this may not be the game for you, because this game is just in essence that.
Yeah, when we say optimize your actions, like you get 3 move points and you have to use those like optimally. Now you can do free actions in between them. So like my suggestion for anybody playing the game would be that don't be afraid to move, place a wormhole, and then move on top of that wormhole, so that you can like then on your next turn, go back somewhere else.
Or during this
Or drop it down and then go use one of the cool little things that they have on the tile that is
photon cannon.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. So, you just don't have to do all 3 of your moves at once. You can spread it out, and sometimes that could be tough because there's so many combinations that can happen.
Optimal strategy.
All right, overall, what do we think?
I enjoy this game. I'm excited to see a higher player count. I'm excited to see the chaotic mess that is 5 different sets of 5 wormholes of us just going delivering passengers and
traveling
through all the wormholes.
House rule. You now have to make that. No, I would
That'd be
not be okay with
all
that.
the 4 other people while you're traveling through a wormhole go. If someone can send us a video of that, I would love that so much, and my heart would be very happy. You started it.
Yeah, because I was trying to be fun, but I don't need it to happen all the time.
Okay, what do you think? What are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, like it's a good game. Like I said, I'm not sure quite how to think of this. I think I need to play it at a higher player count. I honestly think that it might be intended for that, but I don't know. There is a solo version, so it could be worth trying. But
what do you think of it at 2-player?
It just didn't spark my fancy. Is that a saying?
Didn't spark your fancy.
Spark my fancy. I don't know. It's good. Somebody out there is gonna like it. I just don't think it's for me.
That's fair. Now for our question of the day.
What is it?
If you were to go to space,
what noise does a wormhole make?
I guess so.
No, ask your question. You can answer that question if you want to, but I mean, it's pretty hard to turn. I just picture this is everybody's gonna like comment these like words, and then I'm gonna have to go through all of them, or you are, and we'll have to scroll and maybe make just a video of us being like, oh, so and so says that wormholes should be like.
That sounds like a TikTok idea right there. Tyler will make a TikTok of all your wormhole sounds.
I will not.
What does the wormhole say?
What does the wormhole say?
Well, thank you so much for watching.
If you like this video,
thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Leave us a comment. We're coming up and launching our
2-player month. Strictly 2-player. July 1st.
Which is?
Well, yeah, July 1st. Which is Friday.
Friday! So keep an eye out. We'll be doing lots of giveaways and lots of more information to come then.
Exactly. Until next time, though, this is us checking out.
Do you want to go to outer space?